chick bad, my chick hood, my chick do stuff that your chick wish she could.
What made you want to go into acting?
John Singleton reached out to me, and basically he asked me to audition for the Too Fast, Too Furious role since he was the one that was going to be directing it. What's crazy is I was on the Eminem tour, so this was like 15 minutes before I had to go on stage. I had to audition for this role. I auditioned for it, I read the sides on tape. Next thing I know, John Singleton called me and said, we want you to be in this movie.
So he just saw you as an MC and was like, yeah, he could do it. Not you trying to get into this.
He saw something in me, which he told me with the videos and so much personality that I displayed. He felt like I was a character. And he felt like if I could do one character, then, he wanted to try me out in doing another character.
Let's talk about Crash, because you had a pivotal role in, one of the best films of the decade there.
Yeah.
You interacted a lot with Sandra Bullock's character, who's hardcore racist. There's a lot of racism in the script and in the acting. So is it a difficult sort of vibe on the set when all this stuff is being said and, you're kind of like, damn, she couldn't be acting that well?
That's why I love when we have conversations like this, because even if someone hasn't said it out their mouth or someone hasn't necessarily done it, everyone has thought it. People think it all the time. Everyone has preconceived notions. It's just about you controlling your inner thoughts and trying to check yourself, when it comes to times like this. So no one was tripping on set. We all understood 100% what it was, and we had conversations on and off the camera.
So while you're promoting Crash, you did the Oprah Winfrey Show.
The Oprah Winfrey Show, yeah.
Which you kind of had to fight to get on the show because they invited the whole rest of the cast and not you. And then the last minute they said, okay, you can join. And then the rest of the cast, they're talking about the movie. To you, she's lecturing you about hip hop. What's going on there?
Hey, man, your guess is as good as mine. I can't at all fault Oprah for her opinion.
Right.
However, don't praise one entertainment platform on a movie that has this many curse words and is saying just as many words that I may say on my entertainment platform. Don't do that.
After the show, the two of you go off and talk. What was that? Was the tone different there?
The tone is definitely a little different. She was basically trying to say that she was apologizing, so to speak, for me not being invited with the rest of the cast automatically off bat.
So once upon a time, you had a lucrative endorsement deal.
Yes.
And then Bill O'Reilly came along and started spouting and mischaracterizing you, said you glamorized a life of guns, violence, drugs, and disrespect of women. But he cost you a lot of money because that beverage company said, we're out of business with Ludacris.
Yeah.
How do you feel about all that?
Oh, man, I was pissed.
Shout out to Bill O'Reilly, I'ma throw you a curve. You mad cause I'm a thief and got away with words. I'ma start my own beverage, it'll calm your nerves. Pepsi's the new generation. Blow it out.
I wanted to understand how a person like Ozzy Osbourne could have an endorsement contract with Pepsi.
Because they replaced you with the Osbournes.
This person, which I also am a fan of. However, you're talking about a person who would bite the head off of bats. And he can get an endorsement, yet it's not okay for Ludacris to get an endorsement. So I was definitely pissed, and I couldn't understand.
So your rise has continued,
Right.
but your bank account was affected. Does it kind of scare you that this O'Reilly could just pick you, attack you, and take money out of your bank account?
Absolutely not. Because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything. And I stand for something.
So what do you stand for?
I stand for artistic expression. That's what I stand for. I stand for freedom of speech. I stand for my opinion, and I'm going to give it. I actually met Bill O'Reilly for the first time last year at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And I was there with my mother, and I could see the faces of everybody at his table look at me and look at him when I was walking over there. They thought some real gangster shit was about to go down. I walked straight up to him, and I looked him in his face, and I said, I just had to meet the person that has so much to say about me but knows absolutely nothing about me. And from there, we had a discussion, and I think he understood more about who I am than what he, wanted to put out there.
So during the presidential campaign, you were enthusiastic about Obama, and you dissed McCain, you dissed Hillary, you dissed Jesse Jackson too. How do you feel about Obama now?
I feel the same way about Obama. I say, given his circumstances, I'm still very strongly supporting him. You know what I mean? I'm glad everything he stands for, I'm still 100% behind.
Even though you were effusive about him and enthusiastic about him, and his campaign distanced themselves from you and said you should be ashamed of what you rhymed.
I understood why they did that.
You understood the political
I understood the
game.
political aim of why they did that. And since then, I've spoken to all parties, and we're all on the same page.
Do you have a plane?
Absolutely, yeah, I do.
You own your own plane, or you have fractional?
I own my own plane.
What do you have?
I have a Hawker 700.
But you also still have the Acura that you drove in 1992 or something?
Yeah, it's a 1993 Acura.
And you still drive it?
I still drive that car more than any other car that I have.
Because?
Man, because it keeps me grounded, man. This is the car I had before my record deal. I love that car more than anything. Like I always tell people, if something happens to that car, if it breaks down, I might get a little emotional. Straight up. This car has over 230,000 miles on it. And when I drive in it, you know, the windows are tinted, and nobody pays me any mind because no one thinks that Ludacris is in that car. So I just roll, man, and it keeps me grounded. This is where I write most of my music.
Do you have a name for the car?
You know what? I call it Goldie. Because it's kind of got that gold kind of color to it. I call it Goldie. Kind of like the Mac. Yeah, so my car is the Mac.
Thanks for being on the record.
Thank you, sir. Perfect.